So good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching from. Respect the people who have joined. We are going to start. This is the East Central and South Africa Microsoft Excel Forum, brought to you by CrispExcel Training and Consultants. For you to support the webinars, please subscribe to the channel, and also you can view other masterclasses that are already recorded in the channel. So the topic for today is conditional formatting, and we have our presenter. He's going to introduce himself. He is not new to the community. He has presented before. So Ellen, you can.
Yes, hi.
Yeah, I think you can start and you can give a brief introduction about yourself.
All right. So, hi everyone. Maybe I'll say good day, good evening in Kenya. Malaysia is, I think, it's about 10:30, 10:25. So it's good night in Malaysia. So, hi everyone. My name is Ellen. So I will be the speaker today, and I will try to educate my friends, everyone here, regarding on conditional formatting. That means how we can turn insightful numbers to a valuable insights, a valuable decision making, because conditional formatting can help us to analyze, understand, and also present data to our management. Okay, so about myself, my name is Ellen, and previously I was employed in a few organizations where I do prepare dashboards. So I'll just show you all what is the dashboards that I prepared previously in my ex company. So previously in my ex company, what we do is we do on data integration, and we prepare dashboards. So when we prepare dashboards, so for example over here, so maybe my dear friends, can you show some emojis if you can see the dashboard over here? So for example, when I click CFO office, you will notice that it will changes automatically. And if just say I click on CFT, you will notice that it will changes dynamically. So this was what I prepared during my previous company, because I work as an accountant where we involve data integration, data cleaning, and data analysis. So about myself, my name is Ellen, and yep, and I'll be teaching you conditional formatting. So Crispo, I mean, can we start or how?
Yeah, I think we can start. We can start.
All right, so that's great.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. So thank you, Respo. So I hope, my dear friends, can you type number one if you can hear me? Because in the chat box, there's a chat. So you can just type number one if you can hear me. And or you can just show some fire emoji if you can hear me. All right. And then thank you, Mohammed, for typing number one and also showing thumbs up. So what we are learning today is conditional formatting, because conditional formatting is an exciting topic. It's actually very simple to learn. It's not rocket science. So I'll just show you all what is conditional formatting. Okay, so what we are learning is conditional formatting. This is our topic for today. Okay, so in this topic, what we'll cover? So what is conditional formatting? Let's decode this. So if we put it over here, condition means criteria. It could be a requirement, it could be a criteria. Okay, a requirement or criteria. Then what is formatting? Formatting means, in simple words, it is coloring. So when I say conditional formatting, it means we are making a color. That means we are coloring the data according to a requirement. That means if just say the data is more than 50, you change color to red color. If the data is less than 100, you change to yellow color. So that means you color the data according to a requirement. And for what? You see, the purpose of learning conditional formatting is for you to apply on your job, day-to-day job, or perhaps to build a portfolio and so on. So why do managers use conditional formatting? First thing is to do analysis. When you say analysis, means you can actually understand who is the highest, who is the lowest, and so on. One thing is to enhance your understanding, because when you do conditional formatting, you need to understand the data. Okay, you understand the requirement, you understand the unique items, and so on. Lastly is for presentation. You see, all of us, we do have managers, okay, whether you work in a company, a Fortune 500 company, a public listed company. When you work in a company, you have bosses where you need to report to. So when you want to present a report, be it in a PowerPoint or in an Excel, we like to present in a very beautiful and synchronized manner. So this is why conditional formatting plays a pivotal role for you to analyze the data, understand the data, and present the data. Okay, so now let's get started. Let us understand what is conditional formatting. So when you talk about conditional formatting, there is the rules, there is a process. It's not rocket science. So I'll just show you all what is conditional formatting actually. Okay. So now if you look over here, we have a data. We have month, we have RM, we have trending. So in this data, what I want to do is I want to show to my manager what data is higher than 0, what data is lesser than 0. You see, the interesting part of conditional formatting is it involves 3 different steps. Okay, let me talk about just now I talk what and the why. Now let's talk about the how. So when you talk about conditional formatting, the how does it works is, first thing is you need to determine the criteria. You need to determine the requirement. That means, is it more than 0 or is it less than 0? That's number 1. Number 2, what you need to know is you also need to highlight the data. It could be numbers, it could be text. You need to highlight the data first. Then you use your mouse and you click the data, and you use your mouse, you click home first, and you click conditional formatting, and then you choose what you want, whether you want data bars, color scales, and so on. So let's get started. Let us learn together. So what is the process? The process is you need to know what is your requirement. You highlight the data, use your mouse, click home, conditional formatting. Okay, so now we have the data over here. If you look in this particular file, we have months, we have RM. I'm from Malaysia. So in Malaysia, the currency is RM, Ringgit Malaysia. And we have a trending. That means we have here -14, we have here 21%, -11. So basically what I want to do is the requirement. So now let's talk about the requirement. The requirement is any data less than 0. If just say less than 0%, I put it as red color. I put it as red color. Now, if just say more than 0%, more than 0%, I put it as green color. Okay, I put it as green color. So what I want to do is I want to actually understand the data, because this is a sales report. So when I want to know whether there's an increase or decrease. So first thing is you need to determine your requirement. Step number 2 is you need to highlight the data. So I need to highlight this trending data over here. So what I do is you can use your 2 hands and 3 fingers. Control Shift down arrow. Control Shift down arrow. So when you press Control Shift down arrow, basically it will highlight until the bottommost data. And then what you do is you go to home. Under home, this is a home ribbon. Under home, we have a feature called conditional formatting. So like I told you, conditional formatting is, the word condition means requirement. The word formatting means coloring. So conditional formatting means it will color according to the condition. So my friends, can you show thumbs up or fire emoji if you can see conditional formatting? Or maybe you can type number 2 in the chat box if you can see this conditional formatting over here. So basically this is one of the easiest feature in Excel. So I'm going to click on conditional formatting. And what I want to do is I want to actually highlight data which is less than 0. So highlight cell rules. I go here less than. So less than means whatever number less than. So I click here less than. So less than 0. So I put here 0. So you don't have to put percentage because it already recognized less than 0 means it's already red color. So red color, you can actually choose any color you want. We have yellow, we have green. If just say you want black or blue or white, you can actually go to custom format. But I prefer red color, so I go light red with dark red text and I press OK. So if you notice carefully, whatever number that is less than 0 are actually showing red color. But whatever is more than 0, it should capture green color. So make sure you need to know what is your condition. You need to know what is your, you need to highlight the data and you go to conditional formatting. So this time, highlight cell rules, we want more than. So I select here greater than. Why I select greater than? Because I want more than. So more than what number? I put more than 0. And then what color? Green color. So I'll select here and let me choose here green color. So when I select green color over here, I press OK. So now it can help you to enhance your understanding. You can actually understand this, that for February, we notice there is a reduction. For March, there is an increment. For April, there is a reduction. August, September, October, there is a reduction. You see, why? You may ask me, why I need to have conditional formatting? Initially, this data is so blank. That means we have white color. But when we have conditional formatting, we can immediately show to our manager, whether via email or when you have an online meeting where you share screen, or when you have a physical meeting where you connect to the projector. So when we submit a report to our manager in the first 5 seconds, they can actually understand what is the performance of the data. Okay, so this is a very, very simple conditional formatting. We need to go a little bit harder or a little bit relevant for your work. Okay, so now let's proceed to the next part. But before I proceed to the next part, I need to remind you, why do employees use conditional formatting? Because they want to understand the data, they want to analyze the data, and they also want to actually present the data to the bosses. So now let's go to part 2. So before I go to part 2, my dear friends, can you put thumbs up emoji or can you type number 3 in the chat box? Okay, so can you show thumbs up or can you show type number 3 in the chat box? Okay, so thank you friends for typing number 3, so that just to make sure that I don't go fast. Okay, you might be wondering why I'm asking you to show thumbs up or type number 3 in the chat box. This is because the session is held virtually. So sometimes when the session is online, it can be have a delay in internet connection, or it can be I speak too fast or my internet is breaking and so on. So I have to make sure that all of us are on the same page. Right. So now I have gone to part 2. So if you look in part 2, we have a data list of students: Cristiano, Ronaldo, John, Cena, Lionel, Messi. And what we have is, we have the list of subjects. So basically, I want to evaluate the assessment of each students for their respective subjects. Maybe I need to change this, okay? So we have English, we have maths, we have science. But of course, this is quite very new for y'all. So in Malay, we call it sejarah, but maybe I'll just change this to history. So history in Malay, we call it sejarah, but I'll just put it in history so that everyone can understand. So first thing is, we need to know what is our requirement. Our requirement is, we have the students and we have the particular subjects. So whoever got more than 80, whoever got more than 80, I want to put it as green color. I want it to put as green color. And whoever who got, just say less than 40, less than 40, I put it as red color. And if just say anyone who gets between 41, 79, I put yellow color. So you need to know what is your requirement. So in this case, what I'm going to do is, I want to highlight this data. So I put my cursor over here and I press Control Shift down, Control Shift right, so that it will highlight the entire numbers. Okay, we are not going to highlight all this. This is not correct because we need to highlight the numbers only. So I put cursor over here, Control Shift down, okay, Control Shift down, Control Shift right. So you highlight this, and then what you do is, you go and see more than 80. Under home, we have conditional formatting. Click conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. So if they say more than, I put greater than. So I click here greater than. And then what I do is, okay, see here more than 80. What color? Green color. So I select here green fill with dark green text. And I press OK. So if they say I put less than 40, so I click conditional formatting. So you see here less than 40, I click highlight cell rules. I choose less than. I click less than, and here I put here 40. And then what I do is I press OK. So you have red color. Okay, any number less than 40 is red color. And then 41 to 79 is yellow. So I click it over here and I put here between. Between means is located in between the numbers. So I put here between what number? 41, 79. 41, 79 and yellow color. And I press enter. So here you go. So basically the purpose of conditional formatting is just say I show you initially. So you see, initially, your manager, the professor, is not able to actually evaluate the particular performance of each subject and each students. But when you have conditional formatting, it can actually help you to understand who's performing well and what is the difficult subject. So why do employees, managers use conditional formatting? It can help them to understand the data better. It can help them to also analyze better. So for better data analysis, you can actually understand, okay, history is a difficult subject. English, well, it's a mix because we have students who fail, students who got pass, students who got in between, and so on. And the interesting part is you can also change the number so that it can reflect automatically. So for example, over here, just say I go to English, the person here Messi, and maybe I change to just say 36 and I press enter. So if you notice, when I change the number from 86 to 36, it will change automatically. So for example, over here is 89. So over here, you notice this is 89. So if just say I change 89 to just say 49 and I press enter. So you will notice that the color changes automatically. So what you will understand is conditional formatting not only format a data according to a condition, it can also reflect accordingly. And why do employees use conditional formatting? Is to understand and analyze data. So for example, over here, let's give an example. Even though this person name is Messi, but we can understand that his marks are very, very messy because it is less than 50 and so on. Okay, so now let us go to part 3 so that we can actually understand better how we can actually apply this on our work. All right, so my dear friends, can you show thumbs up if you are with me? Okay, so that we can proceed to the next part. Or you can actually type number 4 in the chat box. Okay, anybody has a questions? Maybe Henry, I think you raise your hand.
If you,
Okay.
you can raise your hand, I'll unmute you. Or you can type on the chats if you have a question. We can continue, Ellen, and then take questions later.
All right, sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Crispo. Okay, so now we have moved to the part 3. If you look part 3, we have a year, we have football club, and also we have RM. So RM is actually the currency of Malaysia. So we call it as Ringgit Malaysia. So here in this case, we want to format the text. So basically, I want to format the text that has the letter MAN. So whenever the letter or the particular word has the letter MAN, I want to change to a different color. So you need to know when you play with conditional formatting, first thing is you must understand the condition. Number 2 is you need to highlight the data. Once you highlight the data, you see how I do is I put my cursor over here and I press Control Shift down. So Control Shift down I press. So automatically you will notice that it will highlight until bottom. So what I want to do is format the text that has MAN. So I go conditional formatting and I press highlight cell rules and I press text that contain. That means the word that has what letters. So I'm going to press text that contains. So what I want? MAN. So I put here MAN. And if just say you don't want red color, you don't want yellow color, you don't want green color, you want different color. So you can put custom format and maybe you can choose any color you want. Okay, any different color and maybe a different font. So the font, maybe I put a different color over here. Okay, it may looks not so professional, but I'm just showing to you. and I'm going to press OK, and there you go. Okay, so now you see, whenever the letter has MAN, it will just change accordingly. So for example, I put a random name. Just say I put Lee MAN Sing. Okay, Lee Man Sing. So when I put Lee Man Sing and I press enter, you will notice that it will changes accordingly. If just say I put here Osman, when I put here Osman, you will notice that it changes accordingly. Why? Because when the text has the letter MAN, it will change automatically. But what if just say our manager says that he wants the text to be has begin. That means begin with the letter MAN. Okay, if you see here, initially the word Lee Man Sing or Osman, these letters these words basically contain MAN. But I want to format the text that begin with letter MAN. Meaning to say, I want to format the word that begin with MAN. In this case, Osman and Lee Man Sing is not accurate. So in this case, we need to edit. How to edit is, we need to highlight the data. Okay, always remember, if you want to edit or you want to add a conditional formatting, you need to highlight the data. Then go to conditional formatting. So my dear friends, can you see manage rule? If you can see manage rule, can you show thumbs up, or can you show can you type number 5 in the chat box? Okay, how about typing number 5 in the chat box? Maybe we can just see. Okay, so always remember, if you want to edit, that means you want to edit the conditional formatting, you need to go to manage rule. So what I want to do is, I want to show the letter that begin with. So I click manage rule. I click edit rule. I click edit rule. And over here, if you see, containing with. Okay, so maybe you can click here instead of containing, because containing means that means it contains letter, it comprises letter. So I'm going to choose here beginning with. Why? Why I choose beginning with? Because beginning with means it begins with the letter MAN. So when I click beginning with and I press OK and OK, automatically you'll notice that these two names are not highlighted. So when a name, just say I put here Postman. Even though I put Postman or even Spider-Man, it will not format accordingly. It will not format accordingly. But if just say I put Manly, enter, you will notice it will changes automatically. Why? Because it begin with the letter MAN. So my friends, do you understand? If you want to edit, you need to highlight the data. Let me show you. Highlight the data, go to conditional formatting and go to manage rule. So manage rule is where you can change accordingly over here. So my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show some thumbs up or fire emoji? Okay, so I believe there's a lot of emojis that you can do. All right. Okay, so now let us go to the next part. You see here, I showed you what is text. But what if just say I want to show the top 10 data? Is there anyone showing hands raising hand? RD, do you raise hand? Or are you showing thumbs up?
You can unmute yourself if you have an urgent question, RD. I think we can continue.
All right, so okay. So if nevertheless you have any questions, maybe you can type in the chat box, but I'll try to proceed. So in this context, so just say my manager wants to know about the top 5 data, because sometimes we have a lot of database. My manager wants to know the top 5 sales. So how we can use conditional formatting to do the top 5 sales? So first thing is, I'm going to highlight this number. Maybe I put here format. Okay, I'll write here format top 5 data. Okay, formatting the top 5 data. So I highlight all this. Okay, I go to conditional formatting. I click top bottom rules. Okay, top bottom rules. You see here we have top 10, bottom 10, above average, below average. So what's the difference between top 10% and top 10 items? This is as per the percentage allocation. This is as per the percentage allocation. We are not going to refer on percentage allocation. We want to do top 5 data. So click it over here, click the top 10, but I don't want top 10. Instead, I want top 5. So I click 5, and if just say you want a different color, you can go over here, you can do custom format. So maybe I want a gold color. So maybe just say dark black. Okay, black color, and I put it bold, fill with gold color. And I press OK and OK. And just like that, you can actually understand what is the top 5 data. So if just say I put a bigger number, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So when I put a bigger number, it will change dynamically. So meaning to say, conditional formatting is very useful for data analysis because it helps you to understand the data and it helps you to analyze the data. But if you remember, initially I told that in conditional formatting, not only we can do analysis, we can also do presentation. So using conditional formatting, we can also present to our manager. So how we can actually present to our manager? For example, over here, we have a simple data. So what I want to do is, I want to actually present to my manager. I want to make a beautiful presentation to my boss. So I'm going to highlight this data. Okay, so basically we have a unit sold and we want to actually show to our manager. So I'm going to click here, conditional formatting, and I want to click on color scales. So what is color and scale? Well, scale means measurement. Again, I repeat, scale means measurement. So let me just write this down. What is color scale? Color scale means the word scale is a measurement. That means it measures who is the highest, who is the lowest, who is in between. Color scale means it's a measurement based on color. Measure based on color. That means if highest is green color, lowest is red color, something like that. So I'm going to highlight the data. I'm going to click on conditional formatting. I'm going to click on color scale. So like I told you, what is color scale? Color means is the color. Scale means it's a measurement. So basically it will indicate what color, which is highest. What color is the lowest. So you can actually choose any color you want. So I'm going to choose the first one and I'm going to press OK. So if you see here, we have green, yellow, red. So when I press it over here, you will notice that this is the data. So for example, the number is 72, highest. So highest will show green color. 6 is lowest. So lowest is red color. So what I told you is I want to present to my manager. So when I press right click, I right click the number, I press sort. Sort means it will arrange. So I will sort largest to smallest. When I sort largest to smallest, what you're seeing right now is a presentation. Basically like a rainbow color. So when my manager see this, my manager can understand who is the highest and who is the lowest, because all of us have salary, depending on salary, bonus, increment, promotion. So we can actually use conditional formatting to enhance the data analysis. But what if just say our manager don't like red color? What if just say the manager don't like yellow color? What if just say the manager don't like green color? Well, you and I, we cannot change our manager, but we can change the color. So now how to change the color? If just say the manager don't like green color, red color, yellow color. So highlight these numbers first, go to this conditional formatting and manage rule. Always remember, manage rule is the place where we will try to edit. The keyword here is edit. So manage rule. So I'm going to click on edit. So over here, you notice if just say lowest, if your manager don't like red, you can change the color. If just say your manager don't like yellow, you can change the color. You can also change the percentile. You can also change the color for the highest. But what I want to teach you right now is icon set. So icon set is a very, very interesting tool. So let me click on icon set. So icon set is you have so many icons, but I don't want more than 67% or 33%. So my dear friends, can you show thumbs up if you can see here percent and percent? So can you see a thumbs up over here? If you can see percent and percent. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and I'm going to put here number. I'm going to click here again. I'm going to put here number because I don't want based on percentage. I want to put based on numbering. Here I change 50. So any number that exceeded 50, it will have a green round box, a round shape. Here is anything that exceed 25, and you can actually change the icon. So for example, I want maybe a star. I want maybe over here a graph, and over here maybe I want a red cross, something like this, a red cross or anything, up to you. So I'll just choose this. And then now I press OK. So now these can actually gives you some analysis. So any number that is more than 50, you will have a star. Any number which is in between, you will have a graph. So if just say I put here 45, you have a graph. If just say I put here 12, you have a cross. So basically what happened is, maybe let me repeat again. You can actually make a formatting according to any condition you want. So if just say you have a sales report, KPI report, expenses report, customer survey report, in order to enhance your analysis, you can actually use conditional formatting. Okay, so now let's go to the next exciting part. You see here, my dear friends, I got teach you now highlight cell rules, top bottom rules. The next thing that I'm going to teach you is data bar, because I already taught you color scale. I already taught you icon set. But the next thing I want to teach you is data bar. So manage rule, always remember, manage rule is the place where we can edit. We can just change the formatting. Clear rules is whether you want to remove the conditional formatting. New rule is normally advanced, whereby you want to use a formula to actually try to format the data or try to make a conditional formatting. So now we will try to focus on conditional formatting. So now what I'm going to do is, here we have SKU. Normally when you go to supermarket, you see when we work in a company will have employee ID. But when a company deal with inventories, they will have SKU. SKU means it is the ID for each inventories. Here we have the type, here we have the brand, here we have the price in MYR. So if you go to US, we use US dollar. If you go to Great Britain, United Kingdom, we use GBP. But in Malaysia, we use Malaysia Ringgit. So now what I'm going to do is, I want to actually highlight this data. And I want to copy this. Highlight means, okay, what I did is I press Control Shift down. When you press Control Shift down, it will highlight until bottom. Then I press Control C and then I paste it over here, Control V. So what I'm going to do next is, I want to actually show a presentation to my manager. So I'm going to click on Conditional Formatting, Data Bar. You can choose any color you want, maybe gradient or solid. So I'm going to choose this. And there you go. You see, even though you make an effort, even though you put a sacrifice, but there is times where your manager will give comment. In life, sometimes can be cruel, because even though we make effort, our senior management, top management will not appreciate us. Why this is so? If you see here we have a data bar, here we have a number. So when a manager see this, it is very confusing, because you have the graph, you have the number, you have the graph and a number. How I want to impress my manager? How can I accommodate my client so that when my client see, he can understand? So I need to highlight the data. And okay, so what our intention right now is, we don't want the numbers. We only want the graph. So what I do is, I go to conditional formatting. Remember, if you want to edit, you go to manage rule. Again, I repeat, if you want to edit, you go to manage rule. So manage rule, click on edit. So my dear friends, can you see there is a word here called show bar only? Show bar only means it will show the bar only, not the numbers. So if you can see show bar only, can you show thumbs up, or can you show fire emoji, or can you type number 6 in the chat box? So I'm going to click here, show bar only. And okay, so maybe I'll just change the color. And I'm going to press OK. So once I press OK, and just like that, you will see this graph. But what if just say I want to make it more beautiful? So right click. When I right click any number, I go to sort. Sort means it will arrange. So I want to sort largest to smallest. And just like that, it will show you the performance of each particular product. So my friends, do you understand? If you understand, can you show thumbs up? So that now we can go to the real case study. So how we can actually apply a case study so that we want to show to our manager and our manager can understand better. So the interesting part is we can incorporate conditional formatting into pivot table. Last year, I taught some of us on pivot table. So now we want to incorporate conditional formatting in pivot table. So pivot table is something where we can summarize and analyze and also present data. But what I want to do right now is I want to actually make a fascinating conditional formatting in the pivot table. So I'm going to put my cursor over here, okay, anywhere on the table, and I'm going to press Control A. When you press Control A, it will highlight the entire table. When you press Control A, it will highlight the entire table. Then you go to Insert and you click Pivot Table. Okay, Insert Pivot Table. Yes, there is a video on Pivot Table. Actually, I taught it last year, but actually I can show you all a glimpse of what is Pivot Table. Okay, so to answer a question, there's a question on the chat box. They ask, was there a video on Pivot Table? Yes, it is there, but later I can show you all where is it. So you can click on Pivot Table. Pivot Table is a fascinating tool that can summarize, analyze, and present data. So if you see here we have employee name, we have employee ID, we have states, we have dates, we have insurance claims, we have RM. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press OK. When I press OK, we will be navigated to a new sheet. So you may ask me, what is pivot table? Pivot table can summarize. Okay, I'm going to write this down. Summarize, analyze, and present data. It can do presentation. So if just say I tick here RM, so it will show me that it has about 419,000. And if just say I tick the states, so it will show me the summary of each state, the sum of each state. If just say I don't want the states, I want the employee name. So it will show me the performance of employee name. So right now, if just say I click on date, so what it does is it shows the performance of each day. So you see here, pivot table can do a data analysis where it can summarize, analyze, and present data. In your original data, sometimes working world, we have about 10 columns or even can go to 200 columns. So 200 columns or even 1000 rows. So in this case, if you see over here, this data, it creates a summary on monthly basis. And interesting part is you don't have to put monthly. You can just press your right click. You can go to group. You click group. And instead of showing monthly, you can also unselect the days, unselect the months, and select quarter. So my friends, can you see quarter? If you see quarter, can you show thumbs up? Okay, so we can actually show, basically instead of monthly, we can show quarter. So I'm going to press OK. And right now you will see that right now we have a quarter report. So not only we can show quarter, we can also show weekly report. Okay, can you repeat that? Sure. So I'm going to press here right click. You see here, initially what happened? Let me press Ctrl Z. So initially we have January, February, March. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my mouse and right click January. You see here in our mouse, if just say you are using a computer, you have a mouse. The mouse got left click and right click. So I'm going to press right click on January. Not only January, you want to actually right click on March, April, any of the months can. So I'm going to press right click. I'm going to go to group and a box will appear. So what I want to do is I want to select quarter, unselect months, unselect days, select quarter, press OK. And just like that, you will have a quarter report. So Ashnafi, did I answer your question? Because you say, can you repeat that in the chat box? So just let me know if I answered your question. Some companies, like for example, Walmart, there are certain companies like Walmart, for example, iPhones, Apple, they have the industry, they have a weekly industry. Transaction happens every day. So what if they say an industry that has, they prefer a weekly report. So I'm going to press here right click. You can select anywhere. You just press here right click. You go to group. You press group. And then over here, you see here we have years, we have quarter, we have months, we have days. But what if just say your manager prefer days, prefer weekly report? A weekly report, that means because companies like Apple, Samsung, and even Walmart, they have transaction happen daily. So what if just say your manager wants weekly report? So in 1 week, we have about 7 days. So I just change here 7 and I press OK. So automatically you will have a weekly report over here. So this is how you can actually show the data. Or what you can do is, if just say you want monthly, right click, how we can handle begin with July. Okay, if just say begin with July, that means you need to use a different sorting, a different you need to go to the original data source and then you can change accordingly. Because if just say in begin with July, I believe that you need to have a different numbering, maybe that perhaps maybe like July is 01, August is 02, September is 03, and so on. Okay, maybe I'll show that in a while. Gladys. All right, that's a good question. Okay, I will answer that
Yeah,
in a while.
or maybe to help you on that, Ellen,
Yeah,
what she can do is that she can create a column with a new financial period where
yes, a
July
dummy data.
reads like January, using just the if function.
Yes,
Create a
yes,
helper
exactly.
column,
We
yeah,
look up.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true.
Mm.
That means like July is 01, August is 02, and so on. A dummy
Yes,
data which shows the
yeah,
financial year. Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so back to topic. So I'm going to press group and I'm going to select year months and unselect the days because we want to show monthly report. So here we have a monthly report. And what I want to show is I want to put the RM. Okay, I'm going to drag this RM. I'm going to select this, drag and put it over here. So right now you will notice that we will have two different data over here. That means we have this one column for the data. Now you might be wondering, like, why do we have another column? Basically, we want to show some analysis. So I'm going to press here, right click. Okay, I got issue in previous session, but I'm going to repeat again. I want to show the trending. So I click here, show value as, and you can actually go to percentage different from. So percentage different from, it will show you any difference happen from a particular data. So I'm going to click here percentage different from, and you will notice that a small box will appear. So you ignore the base field. You just ignore the base field. We need to focus on base item. So instead the base item becoming Jan, I want to put it previous because previous means we want to compare with the previous data. So I click here previous and I press OK. So once I press OK, so now you will notice that here there is -14, here is 21, here is 11. Okay, you may ask me how I did it. Let me show you one more time. So I'm going to press here right click. You can right click at any of the numbers. Show value as percentage different from, and instead of base item much, you choose previous because we want to compare with the previous month. And then you press OK. So right now you see this is what they call trending. Meaning to say here I'll just put here maybe the expenses, and this is the trend. What does it mean? In the month of January, we have 45,000. In February, we have 39,000. So that means there is a reduction of 14%. In March, we notice that February is 39, but March is 47. So my dear friends, can anybody type in the chat box? In March, is it increase or decrease? That means our February data is 39. But March data is 47. So can anybody type in the chat box? Does it increase in March or decrease in March? So what do you think? So basically, using pivot table, we can do, okay, thank you, Muhammad. So basically, it is actually increase. So what we do is, our topic is not pivot table. Our topic is conditional formatting. So I'm going to highlight all this. Okay, conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. I go to greater than because my manager wants to know what months is increase. So I put here 0 and I don't want red color because normally red is for anything negative. So I put here green color and I press OK. So anything that is increase, green color. Conditional formatting, highlight cell rules, go to less than. So less than 0 and it is red color. But now this is not what I'm going to show you. I want to show you the performance of each employee name. So what I do is I select this, I drag it and I put it over here. So once I put it over here, of course, here we have no data. But what you can see is, we can see the performance of each employees. Of course, here we don't have data, so it shows null, but we can show if error as well. So this is how we can show the data. Or if just you don't want employee name, you can actually put maybe perhaps, maybe I just want to put maybe the states. So here you can see the data. Okay, so this is how conditional formatting, you can actually use conditional formatting to analyze the data. Okay, so now this is looks better. So for example, for company, family, individual, we can see individually, because initially you only see the single data. But once if I put the type of insurance over here, you will notice right now this is the performance for each category. So for type of insurance, now you notice that for some months, like for example, like September, we notice that is all reddish. Why? There is a reduction. So this can help the manager to understand why September and October there is a reduction. And if you notice carefully, like for example, like March, we notice there is increase. So this can actually help us. Conditional formatting and pivot table can actually enhance our data analysis skill. But in the real working world, it's not just about data analysis, it's about the ability to give the story behind a number. So now you notice that March, we have increase. And in September and October, we have reduction. So now the next question that you need to give to your manager is, why increase in March? Why reduction on the last quarter? Okay, so this one you need to figure it out. Maybe you need to send emails or you need to communicate and so on. All right. So now I will try to proceed to the next part. Okay. So my friends, maybe you show thumbs up if you are with me. Okay. So like I told you, we can actually use conditional formatting to do data analysis, to do presentation, and to understand the data. So now I'm going to use pivot table again, but I want to show some interesting analysis. So I'm going to press your Control A, insert, and then I'm going to put pivot table. And then, okay, see here we have retailer, we have the date, we have the geography location, we have the product, and we have the total sales. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press OK. And what I want to do is maybe I just want to take the states and I want to take the profit, or maybe here we have operating profit. Okay, so we have the operating profit over here and I want to drag it down. So now we have this data. So normally in real working world, there is possibility your manager don't like to see entire data. So I want to maybe show the top 10 data. So I click over here, value filter. I don't want everything. I want the top 10. So I click top 10. I press OK. So now we have the top 10 data. So you might be wondering why now we have two data. Well, I'm going to show you. So I'm going to highlight all this just for this portion only. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to home, conditional formatting, data bar. So I'm going to select data bar and you can choose any color you want. Any color you like, you choose. But if just say you don't want the number and the graph to be together, you can go to conditional formatting, manage rule. You see here, manage rule is very useful to edit. So I'm going to click on manage rule and I'm going to click on edit rule and I want to show bar only so that the bar only appear. And okay, for me, I'll just want to change a different color and I press OK. So just like that, now we have a better presentation. So if just say you want to sort, right click, sort largest to smallest. That means it will arrange from a large number, a big number to small number. And just like that, we can show the performance and so on. So my friends, do you understand? So you can actually try to incorporate conditional formatting in your work together with your pivot table or to alone in your standalone data so that your manager can not only understand and analyze, but you can also present to your top management. Okay, so now we will try to go to the next exciting part. But before I go to the next exciting part, I will show you a magic first and then we will do the data together. Okay, I'll show you the magic. You may be wondering, what is this magic? Let me show you. So right now, I want to show to my manager maybe the top 5 data or the top 10 data. So what I'm going to do is I just want to select this data over here. Okay, so just see, later I'll explain to you in detail what I'm going to do. So maybe let me zoom this so that you can see the data. So now right now what we have a population data for the year 2021. So what I want to do is I want to show some magic. So I'm going to put here, let me show the magic and then I'll explain to you. So this data is 1 million. I want to lock this column because this column is in column C, and I'm going to put greater than, equal, large. We have a formula called large. That means you can show the top 5 data or top 3 data. And then we have the array and k. I'll explain to you in detail. So let me highlight first. I lock this and I'm going to lock this. Okay, and close bracket. So right now what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you an exciting magic. Okay, so let me just put it over here. I'm going to highlight all this. Conditional formatting. New rule. Always remember this new rule is basically an advanced part. So I'm going to select new rule and I'm going to use formula to determine cells. Later I'll explain in detail what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this formula over here. Okay, so this is the formula. Format. I put it yellow color or maybe gold color, up to you. And I put it bold and I press OK and OK. So now what you see is any data which is top 5, it will show you the highlighted 5. So if just say I put here top 10, so it will show you 10 data. If I put here top 3, it will show you 3 data. Maybe let me show you some fascinating magic. Don't worry, I will explain to you. But let me show you some exciting magic. So over here, I have a developer. Some of you might not have developer. Don't worry. Later, I'll show you how we can enable developer. So developer, we have insert. We have the spin button. So let me click the spin button and let me show this exciting magic over here. So I'm going to press right click, format control, and let me put my cell link is over here. So the cell link, let me just put it over here. Incremental change is 1. Current value, I put here maybe 5. And I'm going to press OK. And there you go. So now if they say I decrease and decrease one more time. So my friends, can you see the magic? Don't worry, I will explain to you. But can you see this magic? If you can see the magic, can you show thumbs up? Or can you type yes if you can see the magic? So basically, we can use conditional formatting to do some magic, to show some presentation. But don't worry, I will show to you what is the magic so that you can try together. So you see here, if I want to remove this conditional formatting, what I do is I highlight all this. Whether you want to edit or whether you want to create a new conditional formatting, you can just go to home, conditional formatting, clear rules. Clear rules means it will try to remove the conditional formatting. So if just say you highlight a table, you can select clear rules from selected cells. But what if just say you have make a conditional formatting everywhere in your sheet? So you can clear rules from the entire sheet. That means you don't have to highlight. You see here, just now I highlight. So if just say you don't want to highlight, you go to conditional formatting, clear rules, entire sheet. That means it will remove the conditional formatting from entire sheet. So now what I want to do is I want to show you how I do the magic just now. Okay, let me just right click and remove this. Okay, first thing is I'm going to put here equal and I'm going to select this number. So this number is our reference. Okay, equal C5. And if you notice, I press F4. Okay, this topic I'll teach you one time later, maybe in the future. You see here, when I press F4 for the first time, it will show you $2 sign. That means it will lock the particular cell. If you are seeing this for the first time, let me show you. This one is what they call as absolute reference. That means it will try to lock the data on this particular cell. But I will try to lock on this particular column because all the population data falls in column C. So I press F4 one more time. There is a button called the F4 button on your keyboard. So I press it one more time so that it will lock the column C. And then I'm going to put shift full stop so that this indicates it is greater than equal. Okay, what I want to do is I want to actually highlight the top 5 data. I want to highlight the top 10 data. So I will use large. There is a function called large. Large means like just say I want to return top 5. I want to return top 10. Then you can use the large formula, large function. And then if you notice under large, we have the word called array and k. What is array and k? Array means, okay, this array and k is an argument. In Excel, whether you use VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, the word array means is an area. So what is the area I want to highlight? I want to highlight this particular area. So I need to highlight all this and I need to lock or I need to press the F4 button so that it will create an absolute reference for this particular area. Then I press comma. If you notice over here, there is a letter K over here. So my friends, can you see the letter K over here? If you can see letter K, can you show thumbs up? Okay, so this letter K, maybe I put it over here because I want to make this change. So I press here locked, close bracket, enter. Okay, so it will show you true. You see, conditional formatting is, it will reflect. If just say it is true, it will reflect. If it's not true, it will not reflect. So I need to copy this formula and I need to highlight the data. Okay, I highlight the data, conditional formatting, new rule, conditional formatting, new rule. So I'm going to select this new rule and I want to use a formula to determine which cells to format. That means you're using a formula. And then I click it over here and I want to change color. So you can choose any color you want. I want to make it bold. I want to make it yellow, or you want to make it gold color, up to you. Okay, and okay. So this is how I change. So if just say I put here 3, enter. So it will show you the top 3 data. If I put here 15, enter, it will show me the 15 data. If just say I put here 2, it changes to 2 data. But just now I use developer. Okay, so if first thing is, if just say your laptop doesn't have developer, no worries, because every Excel, unless you're using MacBook is a different process. If you're using a normal Windows laptop, you will definitely have a developer ribbon. But what if just say I open and I notice that I don't have a developer ribbon? Don't worry. What you can do is you can actually right click any of the ribbons over here. You press right click. When you press right click, is there a section called customize ribbon? If you can see customize ribbon, can you show thumbs up? Okay, because some laptop, when you open in your laptop, you will notice that you don't have developer. My file, I have developer. But you might ask me why your particular file don't have developer. So you can right click any of these ribbons, go to customize the ribbon, and then a box will appear. So can you see here? Do you have here developer? Let me show you. Wait, let me just put it here. Can you see there is a developer over here? What you need to do is you need to tick this box. You need to enable this box, because if you just say your particular file don't have developer, don't worry. You can right click customize ribbon, go to customize ribbon. On your right hand side, you can just tick this. When you tick this, you press OK, you will have the developer ribbon. So under the developer ribbon, you have insert. Under insert, you can go to form controls. Under the word form controls, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is, they call it as spin button. So I'm going to select the spin button and put it over here. So the spin button is normally famous for those who involve in financial modeling, construction industry, forecast, because they can actually play around with the interest rate, inflation rate. So I'm going to press here right click, format control. Okay, can you see a box appear over here? Okay, maybe you can show thumbs up, or you can type yes if you notice a box appear over here. So the cell link is, I want to link to this cell, and the current value, I just want to put maybe 3. Incremental change is 1. That means when you change, it will change by 1 number. So I'm going to press OK. I click elsewhere. So if just say I increase, I increase, I increase, and I can decrease, decrease, decrease. Okay. So my friends, do you get it? If you get it, can you type yes in the chat box, or can you show thumbs up emoji? Okay. And just to let you know, I understand, because what I teach you right now is maybe okay, wait, let me just go over here. Let me just show here so that y'all can see together. Okay, of course, Crispo got share a link in the chat box. So if just say you lost, okay, you don't understand, don't worry. Some of it is available in my channel. So like, of course, you can actually subscribe Crispo's channel as well. Okay, because Crispo's channel also got valuable insights on financial modeling and M query language. But if just say you want to actually know that what I actually taught you. So what I taught you actually today, let me just show you. Okay, so this one, Microsoft Excel basic, I guess. So yeah, where you have this conditional formatting that I teach you just now. But there is a problem because these YouTube videos are actually in a different language because I'm from Malaysia. So Malaysia, the national language is Bahasa Malaysia. So I was actually speaking this in a mix of Malay and English. All right. So I think you can't try to get an understanding, but no worries. If just say you want to have some understanding, I can actually maybe, and since this session is recorded, you can actually revisit Crispo's Excel channel as well. Okay, so I think I have actually educated us, I mean, on what is conditional formatting. So now we have proceeded to the next part, the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can ask. So Crispo, I think the floor is yours to facilitate any inquiries. Maybe I can
Yeah.
ask, I mean, I can, yes.
Thank you, Ellen, for an insightful session. I always think that I know much, but every time you teach, I learn something new. So thank you for accepting the invitation. If there's anyone with a question, maybe you can raise your hand or you can type. If you raise your hand, I'm going to unmute you. Otherwise, you can type. So my question to you, Ellen, is there's someone who asked me about dashboards, and at the beginning you showed us how to create impressive dashboards. How do you create? Can you create dashboards using conditional formatting, or do you need pivot tables?
All right, so thank you, Crispo, for your question. Wait, just give me a moment, Crispo. Wait, I just want to share a link in the chat box. Okay, then I'll definitely answer your question.
Yeah.
So
Also
of course,
share the link on
on the chat
about
box,
your
yeah,
YouTube
definitely.
channel. Yeah, your
Yeah,
YouTube
yeah,
channel.
definitely. Wait, just give me a moment. So just let me just go here. Okay, so sure, just give me a moment. Okay, so I'm going to share in the chat box. So if you look in the chat box, this is the LinkedIn post where I shared the top 5 data, and my YouTube channel. So I'm going to share. So just bear with me. I'll answer Crispo question in a while. Let me just go over here. All right, so there you go. So I've shared in the chat box. Okay, so now I'm going to answer Crispo's question because Crispo asked me a very, very good question on creating a dashboard. Okay, right. So now let me just show to you all. Okay, this is quite a simple dashboard. Of course, there are a lot of comments and so on. Let me just show you another dashboard.
There's somebody who needs to unmute.
Okay, maybe. All right, so
Sorry, let me mute them.
okay.
Okay, you can continue.
Okay, so Crispo asked me if just say someone who wants to build a dashboard. A dashboard, do they need to learn condition formatting or do they need to learn pivot table? You see, when it comes to dashboard, it's a very, very big topic because it's not how beautiful is your presentation. Of course, there are numerous YouTube channels where you can actually learn on the steps and procedures in making a visual, a interactive visual. But now the thing is we need to understand is we are preparing a dashboard for us stakeholders. So when we are preparing a dashboard, there is a lot of process. So let me break down to you. So when you want to prepare a dashboard, wait, let me just put it over here. So dashboard preparation. The first thing, whether it's in Power BI or whether in Excel, you need to know where is your data source. Are you getting the information from a software called SAP or from a QuickBooks software or from an email? So the question that you need to ask is, where is your information? Where you get your information? Okay, and how often the information change? That means, is it every month the report changes? Okay, how often the data source change? That means if they say SAP, it changes every month, then maybe you can have a refresh or something. So once you understand this thing, the next thing is you need to know Power Query. Of course, Crispo is an expert in this topic. Power Query is basically how you do data transformation. Because when you talk about pivot table, you have to make sure that the data is in a tabular format, is in a proper database. But sometimes the data is not clean. This is where you need to use Power Query. Power Query, which is founded in 2013. So basically it's about 12 years from the day they founded. So Power Query, it can do ETL. I got this topic. So Power Query is where it can extract, transform, and load data. There is a dedicated Wikipedia page that explains on extract, transform, and load. So once you do a data cleaning, then you can do pivot table. So pivot table is where you can do SAP. What is P? S for summary, analysis, and presentation. So now Crispo asks me, for building a dashboard, do you need to use pivot table or conditional formatting? Well, for most reasons, it's actually depending on the manager. Yes, you can actually watch from YouTube and you can prepare an interactive visual. But in real working world, there are politics, there are different culture, different preference. So why I prepare this in blue color? Because the company that I worked previously, their logo is actually blue color. So that is why most of it is blue color. And if you notice over here, most of these are actually pivot table and pivot charts. It is very rare that I use conditional formatting. In this case, why this visual is actually orange color? Because this company, wait, let me click here. This company, the logo is actually orange color.